live stream. I'm going to try and do this more often. I used to do it regularly on a Saturday, and then I sort of got out of the habit of doing it. But I thought if I can do it sort of impromptu live streams, then that's all the more exciting. And hang on just a minute, as we're coming down, I'm going to show you something right now. There you go. This is what I'm in Rybnik in Poland. Look, we've got here, see that? They're Koipu, and they're not from here. They come from South America as a rule. You know, I'll move this on a bit better. And so you wouldn't normally expect to see them here. Anyway, I'll come back onto the main theme. So, live broadcast. If you've got any questions, this is the time to ask it. Please don't send me personal emails and things like that, as many people do. If you've got something to ask, say it in public. It's much easier that way. I don't have to keep repeating myself on the same subject. And so also, though, as it's live, please don't write anything rude, even if it is just in jest. Now, the theme of today's talk, I thought I'd talk about is the cost of motorhomes, all RVs. The cost is going up enormously. I was talking to a friend yesterday who repairs caravans, and hello, and Mohammed, and he repairs caravans, and he was saying to me about how expensive things are for him to buy, and in the rubbish quality of what he's actually getting for it, and then he can't get parts. I mean, his job is relatively simple, I mean, from the point of view that the caravans aren't as complicated as some RVs, motorhomes and campervans are. Of course, this is one way of looking at it, but when he buys it, yes, it's going to cost a lot of money, but when he sells it with this value added, his plus factor, to use the Marxist terminology, then added on, then he's going to be he will be better off. Now, in many sectors of the economy, things aren't looking so good, but there's some comedians that are using a foul language. But the RV sector, the recreational sector, is doing really well. And so, therefore, what anybody who wants to buy something at the moment, it's not the right time to do it. But I understand we've just had COVID, for all sorts of other problems. Hello, tuna. And so therefore, it makes sense that you know, you can't keep thinking, no, I'll do this next year, because every time you say I'll do this next year, you never do it at all. But there is, I agree, a problem with prices. Now, the average cost of buying a motorhome, a new one, well, it's very difficult to say how much things are going, because I always get this question, how much does it cost? And the answer usually is, I don't know. And therefore, motorhomes is very much, well, how much can I get for it, and how much is somebody willing to pay? There's three things that define the cost of a product. One is manufacturing cost. The other two are supply and demand. If you've got a manufacturing cost of 10x, let's say, and the supply is that 50 people are prepared to pay 10, well, you'll have no problem getting your money back. And if 10 people are prepared to pay 10x, and that's all you can produce, and they're prepared to pay not 10x but 20x, then in this way, things are positive. Tuna writes that, relatively speaking, motorhomes will always hold the price. I don't think they will do always. Hello, Jason. I think that at the moment, yes, they will hold their price for some time. But what my prediction is that the current high prices there will be a crash in the market. Some people might say 2 years. I would say maybe 3 or 4 years. And yeah, I'll just walk away from that racket in the background. I mean, people, it's a lovely sunny day, so people have to do their grass cutting. So, but it does make a bit of a racket. So I'll walk down here. So currently the demand is far outstripping supply, and when that happens, prices will just keep going up and up and up. There is a problem as well on the on deliveries, because there is still this backlog which has happened because of COVID, and there might be something. It might be something really tiny. It might be a screw that they can't put into the boiler, or something really, really small, but that can hold everything up. There is a problem at the moment on semiconductors, for example, and you may think, well, don't need many semiconductors in my van, but as it happens, it's just holding the whole thing up completely. So my point is that I think what we'll see now is with price rises of approximately 20% in 2022 or 21-22 of the last year, approximately, then I think that this is a trend which is likely to continue. And the reason I say this is because at present, people who order a new vehicle are having to wait 18 months to 2 years for it. If somebody gets it in less that time, I constantly hear from dealers that somebody comes along and offers to pay 10,000 euros above the current asking price. Then if that's what's happening, then the situation that we've got is that there's going to be more and more. And so we've got Ian says he paid 35 grand 20 years ago for an A-class Hymer, and so there's a 20-year-old. Yes, that's highly possible that that vehicle would obtain the same price today, I think. So of course, we've got to bear in mind all the time it is supply and demand. That's how the capitalist situation works. It isn't something written in stone that says this has to cost this much. It's not how economies work. Remember what it was like with fuel prices 2 years ago, where the producers of fuel would pay people to take it off their hands. Well, and look what it's like now. And good question here coming from the van. What about putting down a deposit for a new van right now and then selling it at a profit? Well, there are people that do that actually. There are people buy on spec. And the biggest dealer like this, a speculator if you like, is near Munich, just outside Dachau. There's Die Freistadt. And there they would buy things, order them up front in advance, because there was always a time then we had to wait. But I mean, waiting times now got particularly ridiculous. And obviously, whatever they bought was being the simplest form possible. And then they would then settle it. So everybody came in looking to buy a new vehicle off the shelf. And then they would do it, and then they would put on whatever extras the person actually wanted. And so I think there was a time like 3 years ago, we had about 55 million euros of stock was held there, or something like that. And so the idea of actually buying the van, yeah, that would work. But you know what? I think as investments go, as speculators, that might be such a bad idea. So yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. And okay, so Ian says the same van on eBay for 28 grand, which he paid 35 for, if I got that right. Hello Annie, and hello everybody. So it had 20 years used of the van, and the van has a residual value of £7,000 less than it was in 2002. So that's pretty good going, really. And I heard there was somebody who wrote to me, I can't remember if I've got the figures right here, who they got, I think they paid £48,000, I think it was, for something new. Then they got rid of it after a year, they upgraded. Hello, Dave. And then they saw it for sale at £64,000. So it's so that's sort of, you know, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty good going. But what about people who want to buy a vehicle? Hey, you know what? It's starting to rain. I'm going to start walking back. What about if you really want to get it? The thing is, if you really want to get it, the problem is you're sort of really stuck. Now, what about credit? I would imagine that any bank nowadays is going to be adding on. The cost of credit is going to get higher. It stands to reason to me that, you know, banks, whatever they're asking, I don't quite know what it is on a motorhome, but if they're asking for 2.5, 3 points above base, well, it wouldn't be 2.5, be 3 points above base. They're possibly asking for 4 or 5 now, and so. But again, though, I mean, if you've got the cash, think you're going to make, you can make 15% or 20%, well, maybe 15. You've got to allow a little bit for costs by ordering it now and selling it next year. Yeah, that might work. I mean, what else gives you 15% rate return? I can't think. Well, obviously you have to pay for the insurance and other costs, the road tax. But anyway, I think that sounds like a pretty good idea of buying and selling vans like that. So I think the prices will continue to go up, and if you've got the cash and you really have to, then the time to buy it or order it is now. You won't get it for next summer. When I say next summer, I'm assuming that this is the summer now. At least it is here where I am. As you can see, I've got a t-shirt on. So would be looking, so you wouldn't get it for summer 2023. So the first summer would be around 2024. Well, is that the sort of thing you want? Anyway, good. So I'm sort of full of these investment ideas like that. That would be something. I used to work in real estate investment, finance, but for developers, not for individuals. So that's another little thing I did. Great. So anyway, so tonight there will be a live. No, sorry, it won't be a live. There'll be a premiere. This is the live. The premiere will be tonight at 21:15, and tonight, I've forgotten what van it is. And oh no, but it's quite a good one actually. It's a really thin one, and it's short. It comes from Challenger. It's the S5 514, I think the number is. But anyway, it's a good one. So so it's just a quick one here. Yeah, I'll show you where I am. So this is Rybnik in bit of, but of course not all people are nice to, oh sorry, I can't see, nice to something, nice to vehicles. Yes, oh yeah, that's true. So this is Rybnik in southern Poland. We've got a bikeway in this sort of park. We've got this canal here. Old town is a couple of kilometers in the direction I am now walking. 2 days ago, I went out my bicycle for the first time this year, and I went to this place called Wojciech Śląski, and there, oh, it's a wonderful old town, but it started to rain. But it didn't just start to rain; it was utterly bucketing it down. It was. I was literally soaked to the skin. I met somebody there wanting to lend me a book, and just as well I refused because the book would have been destroyed. And anyway, so I was going to do a live. Here, I'll put the thing back on me now. You've seen it. I was going to do a live from there, but anyway, the rain stopped me doing it. But I thought, as I travel around, I can do a live from time to time and show you around. So anyway, I'll turn the camera back around. See this here, so I've got the canal. And there's these koipu that live here, as you may have seen at the beginning of the video. Oh, I can see a koi poo. Well, when I get a bit closer, I'll show it to you. And koi poo come from South America, but so they shouldn't really be here. They've escaped from a farm, and yeah, oh, it's a lovely place. Yeah. I really like the outdoor life. This is why I'm into this van stuff. And if I weren't into the van stuff, I don't suppose I'd be wanting to do things of this nature. And yeah, so I sort of really appreciate this type of living. Here, I'll show you the koi poo, if I can get close enough. I wouldn't have to worry about getting close to them because it'll come to me. They're pretty tame, these things. That's here we go. There you go, there's a koi poo. Now you see, comes up to me. Thing is this though, one shouldn't touch them because there is a thing called koi poo itch. And this koi poo itch, it's not very, it's sort of an allergic reaction. Oh, there's another one there swimming as well. You see the one? And not coming here though. Looks a bit like a beaver in some ways. Wow, wonderful. Okay then, great. So, thanks very much for being here, and all the best from me in Rybnik in Poland, and see you this evening for the premiere. And I'll try not to go to sleep. I went to sleep during it 2 days ago. That was the day I got soaked and then in the bath, and then got tired. So all the best. Dave thought it was a fish. Okay, all right, bye. See you later.